Warning, the following video contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Hi, and welcome to Through Kaleidoscope Eyes, a weekly show where we tell stories of unsung heroes one at a time within the LGBTQIA plus community and allies. We will also be discussing various topics with each special guest. I'm your host, LaCrosse Ortiz. All right, hi everybody. How you doing tonight? Today we have an interesting guest. This guest comes all the way from, I know I'm going to say it wrong, Binghamton, New York. I think I said it right. Okay. We're going to be talking about mental health. We're going to be talking about disabilities. We're going to be talking about being transgender with disabilities. I mean, there's going to be a lot of how do I want to say, sensitive subjects. And I'm giving you a trigger warning now. And just be prepared, okay? Because everybody's story is different and everybody's trauma is different. So without further ado, we're going to bring in a dear friend and a dear brother, Colin Berrelli. Hey.
Hey, brother. How are you?
I'm good. And you?
I'm well. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. How you think? You're struggling with that COVID thing, huh?
Yeah.
Well, not COVID. You just got your second shot.
No, I just got the vaccine and it's kicking my butt. So.
Like, of course, right before the show. Of course.
Like literally 24 hours ago.
Yeah. No. Yeah, no, I'm sure that's rough. That's rough. Like some people, some people don't have a reaction at all. And some people have a bad reaction. You know, it's just.
The first one, I didn't have a reaction. This one was like, hey, I'm here.
So. Welcome to my world.
Yes.
Oh, so, all right. So, well, I see Robin Joan, Cat's in there. Hi, Cat. Ili Parabo. I love him. He's always here for the shows. He really is very supportive within the community, and I appreciate him every time he comes in. So I'm going to give you all a shout out. So let's begin. So we're going to touch on disability. So
okay.
You want to tell me about your disability and share with everybody?
Okay. So I was born with cerebral palsy. I'm unsure if everybody knows what that is, but it is a developmental disability that affects the brain and the waves that connect to the muscles, that tell the muscles what to do, that tell the muscles how to respond. Right. And I was diagnosed with that when I was born, which caused me to be in the hospital for 3.5 months after birth. Mm-hmm. I was breathing and eating through a tube until I was quite, in the middle stages of being home. I wasn't supposed to walk. I was supposed to be wheelchair bound. I wasn't supposed to be able to feed myself. I wasn't supposed to be able to have any type of motor skill function whatsoever. And almost 34 years later, I've so far defeated all those odds. So,
wow. Yeah, that's a struggle. That's a struggle. Like, absolutely. I can't even imagine what you go through. I mean, I got to give props. Like, if anybody gets a chance to watch this guy perform, he's a beast. Like, his energy is so intense and it's just so authentic and raw and real. Like, he's just an amazing entertainer. So, which we should mention, you are a drag king. But that's not the basis of this. But yes, he is a drag king and he does amazing work. So I just had to throw that out there. So check him out at least for that. Okay. So I guess we go into, so how has it been like growing up with this, as your childhood, things like that?
Growing up with my childhood in general was rough. But growing up with a disability as a child was even more difficult. because my family was, separated. I was back and forth thrown between, the court systems and things like that because, my especially my mother, she wasn't the most stable when I was young. So it was basically trying to figure out where I was going to be from day to day. And being a child and not being able to basically fend for myself, it was kind of just, it was a wild card every single day. And I've raised myself since the time I was 16. My father was in the military, so it also made that very hard because with my mom and the choices she had made, I didn't have much of a home life. Everyone else, I was basically being raised by everyone else. And they say it takes a village to raise a child. They're not kidding. And it was very, very rough. And I think what kept me going, because even as a child, I struggled with who I was, why I was here, how I made it through certain things. But I realize now that I was put here for a reason, and I'm here for a reason. There's even if I don't know what it is,
right?
There's a reason, and that's why, through everything, regardless of what it is, I push through it,
right,
to the best of my ability.
Well, I got to give you props because every time I see you or every time I'm around you, you're always with this strong positive energy. You're always, you obviously have to be a spitfire. You got to have some fire in you to get to, you're talking 30 something years later. And I remember we had talked a little bit about this, and you were talking about how they said you weren't going to walk. They said, if you want to go a little bit into that.
Absolutely. I had no motor skills when I was born. I couldn't sit up. I couldn't speak. I couldn't feed myself. I was fed through a tube and breathing through a tube for at multiple points for quite a long period of my life. And they basically said, they aren't going to be able to walk, without the what is the word I'm looking for? I'm at a loss for words. Without the assistance, or move without the assistance of a wheelchair. The wheelchair is the only option because he doesn't have the core strength or the leg strength to be able to walk.
Well, you proved them wrong.
I did.
You did.
And by the time I was 10, I was 10 years old, and they gave me a walker. And they said, well, we're going to try this. We're not going to say that it's going to work. We're not going to say it's going to be effective. There's a very slim chance that it's going to make a difference, but we're going to try it.
Right.
And within, I think it was 2 months of me having the walker, I was walking everywhere.
Nice.
There was no, it was like I had a gas motor in that thing. I was
like, oh shit, I gotta go. I'm ready to go.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That is amazing. So yeah, so like I said, we were talking about this, and once again, if anybody's seen you perform, they know you move around and sit. Sometimes people bitch at me and they're like, I can't get a picture of you. You're always moving. I think you're just as bad because you're like pshum, pshum. It's like, where the hell did he go? Camden's gone.
Yep. I am.
That's amazing. So
I think it might be the ADD too.
Got that too. Yeah, it is. It is. I think that runs. I don't know. When I think of being entertainers, so many people are they got stories. There's some stories, and I'm not talking about stories just behind the scenes, but like stories here inside, that, and they're created for a reason when you really think of that, and you're created for a reason, whether you want to say it's ADD or ADHD or whatever it is it's not, maybe it's not that you can't focus, maybe you focus too much or attention to detail or whatever. ADD is so, like me, I can almost become borderline OCD. Yes. Like my shirts are color coordinated. Okay, it's that bad.
Oh, I've seen it.
So yeah, I'm just like, this isn't clean enough, So, but there is also creativity that comes out of that,
right?
So yeah, continuing with your childhood. So let's go a little deeper, because we definitely want to hit some mental health issues that can stem from these struggles. So go for it.
Okay. All right. So when it comes to dealing with everything I dealt with as a kid, and even, now, like as an adult, mental health is very real. It is a very real thing. It's not just something that someone uses to put everything in a box. Mental health is probably the most important aspect of anything, like when it comes to like suicide awareness. Because of my childhood, because of what I struggle with my disability and other aspects of my life, I have struggled with suicide attempts and things like that. And like I said before prior, I'm here for a reason, apparently, because I wasn't supposed to be here at least 4 times.
Right.
So like I almost it was almost my time, and something kept me here.
Right.
Even if I'm not sure what that is, something kept me here for a reason.
Well, here, I can give you a couple of reasons right now. This beautiful Aurora, I get more and more inspired by you every time we perform.
Aww. Aww.
Here we go. Here's another one. You inspired me to come to life and quite literally spread my wings. I love you so much more.
Aww. Thank you guys so much.
You're the most amazing brother ever, Colin. You're so strong and amazing. So see, that's why. This is the reason why you're here. It's you inspire people. You make them want to. It's like at their point, there's no excuse. They're not struggling with some of these disabilities, and not to unvalidate anybody else, not to unvalidate them, but it's like they see you and they're like, damn, he gets up on that stage and he keeps moving and he just works his ass off for whatever's like right now. What is it you're doing? You just told me you're going to college.
I'm getting my bachelor's degree in forensic science currently.
Exactly. So. Look at this. Like, that's insane. You know, and you have literally have made you're a force to be reckoned with. And, I don't think life was ready for you.
No.
And then, for example, here we go. You prove nothing can hold you down. How are you, Lola? And these are people that they see you and it's an inspiration.
Right.
That despite your struggles, despite everything that you have gone through,
and sometimes like coming from my point of view and my perspective, I don't see those things. Like it's hard to know how much you inspire other people and how much you impact other people, because sometimes you're in your own head, you're in your own moment, and you're in your own little world, and you're just trying to figure yourself out. But little do you know, while you're figuring yourself out, you're helping someone else do the same thing.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. And that's an important thing, when you when you realize that you can take the situations that have come, and you can let it break you. You can, or you can take these moments, these hard times. Like I struggle myself with PTSD. So, oh my God, PTSD is an umbrella. There's one thing I want to make clear. PTSD is an umbrella. There are so many different mental health illnesses that come under that. Absolutely. And when you start really thinking about PTSD and how things can trigger and here and there, some people can be destroyed by that. It will literally destroy them. Yep. Or they can decide and say, you know what? This is terrible. It's hard. It's terrible what I went through. It's rough. But I'm going to switch this around because I cannot let my past define me.
Exactly.
And I think that's a position where you had come to. You didn't let your past define you. You didn't let your disability define you.
Absolutely not.
So I give you mad kudos and mad props for that, because I think you inspire people more than you think you do.
Yeah, like I said, you never know the impact you have on people, really, because you're so wrapped up in everything that's going on. You never actually see the impact that everything you do. Like sometimes there's still days, almost every day, I'm like, why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep doing what I do? Why do I keep dealing with the struggles of everyday life that I deal with? But then I look at the people around me and I'm like, that's why.
Right. Exactly. And sometimes you got to see that you're this brief light. It's this little light. And well, the one thing I always say, and whether it's drag related or not, I've always said drag is medicine. And I give people 3 to 5 minutes to forget their shit. 3 to 5 minutes, And when I think about that, at the same token, it's 3 to 5 minutes for me to forget my shit. Every performance is me bringing a piece of myself onto that stage. Every struggle, every triumph, every situation, every issue is on that. And it helps me basically recreate some of that pain and let it go.
Absolutely.
And you never know if there's somebody in that audience who is going through that same pain or that same struggle, and you're helping them through that.
Right. So, and I've noticed, like, I tell a lot of people this all the time. I've noticed Camden is a confident little, like, everyone calls me pocket pony because I'm Italian and I'm small. So I'm that confident little pocket pony out on that stage. But when I undress and I wipe off all the makeup, I'm just like, I question every aspect of my life.
Yeah.
So it's
absolutely.
Yeah. I've realized just how different everything is.
Oh, 100%.
In the two worlds,
100%. Well, if you okay, well, here's a question: if you could go back and talk to Camden or Colin back then, what are some of the things you would tell him?
That you're worth more than you think, and basically that you don't need to use other people's validations to validate yourself.
Right.
We look for validation in the wrong places from the wrong people, and we don't look for it within us.
Yeah.
We're the only validation that we need, if you think about it.
Oh, yeah. I agree 100%.
So,
I agree 100%. And it's hard to get to that place. It's not easy.
Absolutely.
Because, so many people, they would come up to me and they'd be like, oh, you're so sure of yourself. Honey, this took how many years in the making? I wasn't always sure of myself. I was the little, gap-toothed kid, skinny, beanpole who ended up, it took me years for me to actually start seeing my self-worth. And that's with everybody. This is not something that happens overnight. And it's not, and I would honestly say that most people, when they say it, it's genuine, and it's not just something because it just came out. You didn't just arrive to this. This has been years of you coming to that.
Yep.
If that makes any sense.
Yep. It's like a 72 cart train ride. The one that lasts forever.
Right.
Absolutely.
if you were to think of some of the hardest struggles that you had to go through, what do you think it would be? I mean, I understand the disability also, but if you were to think between the mental health or whatever, what would have been some of the hardest struggles?
Some of the hardest struggles, I think, for myself would have been, one, my parents splitting up, and two, my father's suicide,
Mm,
three, probably just realizing and trying to figure out who I was,
right.
because
Right.
I knew that I wasn't. I was in the wrong body. I was,
Mhm.
you know, my mind was male, but my body presented female.
Right.
My
Right.
heart was male, my body presented female. So those are the three main struggles in my life, is just, the split, my dad's suicide, and then just my own personal identity.
Do you think, and I'm going to put this out there because I know when I lost my father, it was a very difficult time because I had just transitioned. I was in the process of transitioning when I lost him. And I don't know if maybe you felt this way, but when I lost him, I felt like, who's going to teach me how to be a man?
Right.
Who's going to teach me? You you get what I'm saying? Like, did that?
Absolutely. Yep. I
Yeah.
felt the same way, because he was, at the time, like, he was my go-to. Like, even though I was young, like, in a very short amount of time, I felt like he taught me, or was teaching me, everything I possibly needed to know. And then when when he was gone, it felt like he took everything he taught me, and was
Mm.
like, a part of me was like ripped away at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it came the question of, since he's my dad and I am transitioning, am I going to look like him? Like, is he going to be proud of who I turn into,
Right.
or who I become? And every day I realize, every day I look in the mirror, because it's been a while since I've been able to look in the mirror. I'm starting to learn to do that.
Right.
But every day I realize how much I'm looking like him.
I always
And
say my dad spit me out. Like, I am.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
my mom had not, my mom was just an incubator. That was it.
exactly. Get it? Yep,
Yep.
yep,
So, and the truth, and I find it funny. I have four brothers, and they resemble my mother more.
hmm,
So they were definitely mama's boys. But I was definitely a daddy's boy, and I
yeah,
resemble, like, spitting image. It's creepy. It's
yep.
creepy.
You ready for
So
this one? I'm one of 11 children.
what?
Yes. Yep.
Oh,
Yes.
now is it from your dad or is it
Yep.
from your mom too?
Um. All
Like,
together, there's three from my mom and dad, and then the rest we have the same dad, different mom.
okay.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
say that poor woman. I can't even imagine. I would say, oh, well, I actually have an uncle who has 35 kids. No bullshit.
I
Okay,
have
he
an
has
uncle. I have an
35
uncle who
kids.
does too. He has
Yeah, I'm like, I think
my uncle has 30 or 31. I don't
that's a
remember.
European thing. Okay, I genuinely think it's a European thing because you get Spain, Italian.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they want to reproduce like rabbits. It cracks me up.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, I have an uncle who has like 35 kids. One is in Korea because he was in Korea. He was in
Wow.
the Korean War. So I was just like, oh my God. And it's so weird because we all look alike. So if I see somebody who resembles me, there is like a 99% chance it's a
Yep.
cousin. I
Yep.
just don't know him because of my uncle. So
Yep. Like, I have such a large family that every time I see people in certain places, I'm like, wait, are you another one of my brothers or sisters? Are you another one of my cousins?
we're
Because
exactly.
family reunions are absolutely ridiculous. First off, we need like
Oh, I can't.
country club and shit.
Yeah, I know, right? Right. Oh, here we go. We have a nice little what you call it, spam. So don't anybody hit on it. So here we go. I want to hit a couple of.
We're getting
couple of
spam.
more.
That's so.
Yeah,
sweet.
we're getting spammed. I should have known.
That's so cute.
Here is one. You're always there when I need you and pick me up when I'm at my lowest.
Mm-hmm.
That's by Bethany. Colin has inspired me to work through a lot of my issues as a performer and a person. Without his support, I genuinely don't know where I would be. That's amazing. So, yeah. Oh, we got to. Up. Oh. Haley said it's because I love you. There you go. All right. Well, we're going to try and take a quick break because, excuse me, this next half, we're going to go into a little bit more deeper with the trans issue. All right. Okay. So give us a minute and we shall be right back.
WLFE Digital Broadcast Network is on TV. You can watch all of our shows on WLFE-DB.com. Check out our channels. Paranormal View for all of your paranormal type shows. LGBTQ Friends for all of our LGBTQ shows. Variety Unlimited for all other shows. It runs 24/7 right on WLFE-DB.com. You'll even catch the lives, all in one place. Never miss an episode, past or future. WLFE-DB.com, where our shows are your shows. Search for your favorite shows like Where's My Sage, Inside the Drag Closet, Across the Pond, Everything Yet Nothing, Paratalk Radio, Step into the Paranormal, The Creepy Parlor, Just Cindy, and more. Now you won't miss an episode. Remember, follow Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Make sure you subscribe and follow your favorite WLFEDB radio shows. You can find our shows where you listen to your favorite podcasts, like Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and more. WLFEDB Radio is looking for podcasts to join our family. You don't have to fit any strict genre. We're a plethora of shows. If you're looking to jump on a growing network, then contact us at WLFEDBradio@gmail.com.
Wow, Amazon Music just got a whole lot better. Your favorite shows from WLFEDB Radio can now be found there. Yes, we are on Amazon Music, found under podcasts. Download the app, find podcasts, and search all of your favorite shows. Shows like Where's My Sage, Across the Pond, Everything Yet Nothing, Skeptical Help Bar, The Creepy Parlor, Just Cindy, and much more. Now you don't have to miss an episode ever. Amazon Music is WLFEDB Radiofied.
Oh yeah, life just got sweeter now that WLFEDB has merchandise. Show your support by purchasing your t-shirts for WLFE, Paratalk Radio, Inside the Drag Closet, and more. But it doesn't stop there. T-shirts, coffee mugs, tanks, buttons, cloth bags, and more. Go to WLFE-DB.com. On the top bar, click on the merchandise tab and bam, there you go. You got merch. Support the shows. WLFE-DB.com. You're listening to WLFE-DB Radio. Now, back to our program.
All right, we're back. Welcome back. How you hanging in there? You good? I don't think Colin figured. Hey, Colin. All right, we're just having a little technical difficulty. Let me see if I can.
Can you hear me?
There we go. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Yeah, it was it was connected, and then it said you were having issues connecting, and then it wouldn't play the commercials. It was just like, okay, I'm done.
Oh, like, hello. All right. So now is the interesting subject, being transgender. So tell me about when you realized that you were trans.
I realized, let's see. I had a feeling, like I said, very young, that something wasn't right. It was probably around the time I was 7 or 8. Okay. Before I knew what transgender was, I knew that something wasn't right. I knew my body was wrong. I would actually make it a point to wear boys' clothes. I would make it a point to every female piece of anything I had, I would shred it with safety scissors. I would hide it. I would do anything I possibly could so my parents would make me wear it. My dad never did. I think he knew, because he was just like, I'm gonna let you express yourself however, and he wasn't ever one to question anything I did unless it was something that was making it so I was unsafe.
Right.
I used to walk around, and I used to put socks and a baseball in my pants so it looked like I had a package. And I would always, I would always wear the superhero underwear, and I would always, I never wanted a shirt on, that type of thing.
I'm a little upset. Why don't they make them for us grown adults?
Right?
Like, what the hell is that? Why do the kids get the Fruit of the Looms? They get the really cool Marvel underpants. And we as adults, like, we should be allowed to have like a 12-pack or 6-pack of Marvel underpants. Like,
and if we want cool underwear, we gotta pay $19 for one pair of like SpongeBob or some shit.
Right? Exactly. I'm feeling a little left out. I just wanted to throw that in there. But continue. I'm sorry.
Because us older people can't be cool anymore. We can't.
Right?
We can't feel like a superhero.
No.
They take our underwear away.
I want Iron Man underwear. I want Iron Man and Deadpool underwear. I'm just putting it out there.
Me too.
So, yeah, but I get that, because like growing up, like I would steal my brother's clothes. I would definitely steal their clothes. It's so funny because they couldn't understand. Like when I told them I was transgender, they were like, I don't get it. And I'm like, really? I said, I stole your clothes. And they're like, oh, that's right. And I'm like, what did you think I was doing? Nobody wanted to dress like that back then. But
right.
Yeah. And it's a pretty, how do you say, it's once they start figuring it out, because like I knew my father already knew, my dad already knew, and it was like I said, a month before he passed, and he already knew, and he said something. But I think parents do know, whether they're accepting or not, they tend to know. Like my mother was not accepting, and it's not that she was being cruel or mean, it's just she didn't understand, and she was very religious. So I give her that, how do you say, that mercy.
Right.
But I mean, I think the parents know.
Yeah.
You know, so you were saying your dad, excuse me, that he kind of knew.
Yeah. And he basically always gave me, from the time I was real little to the time he passed away when I was 9, he gave me basically the freedom to wear what I want, act how I want. He let me wear the baseball caps. He used to let me run around in his dress blues for the military. Like, they were baggy and dragged to the floor and everything, but he was like, you know what? You're comfortable. Right. So he never judged anything I did unless it was something that, put me in danger.
Right. I mean, did you get any backlash on it?
Yeah. From a lot of my family members, from my birth mother, I did. Her and I don't have a very good relationship. She has told me, "You are my daughter. You will always be my daughter. You're not my son, and I refuse to refer to you as such."
Right. Right. And I don't think they realize how damaging that is, because it's like, sadly, I waited till my mother passed. I knew that as long as my mother was alive, it was not going to happen. It was not going to happen because but then I'm older. I'm 52. So dealing with an old school parent like that old, like ancient, like, and religious, I'm like, yeah, because she would make clear. I would go visit her and I'd be like in a shirt and tie and whatever. And she'd be like, you're not really a man. I'm like, Ma, I know some things that you don't, and it's okay, but it is what it is. You kind of you keep move through it. You move through it, because whether they accept it or not, it's not going to change. You know who you are.
Exactly.
At the end of it, it doesn't matter what they think. And
I've come to the conclusion that, like we were talking about earlier, your own validation's the only one you need.
Right.
And I've this might sound a little crazy, but I've decided that on my birth mother's next birthday, because she's made it a point to purposely dead name me and purposely say things she shouldn't, the birthday card I am buying her is going to say it's a boy, and it's going to have my new birth certificate in it.
Well, there you go.
And that's how I'm doing it. And that is how I am getting my own personal validation. And I'm going to feel good about it.
That is a big issue that I have with is the misgendering. Like, people don't realize how much damage you can do when you're misgendering a human being. And not only just damage in the sense that you're doing to them mentally.
Right.
We're not talking about what you're doing to them that could possibly happen to them physically.
Right.
If you're in public and you get misgendered, they are literally putting your life at risk. And for those people out there who think misgendering is harmless, understand that you are literally putting that transgender person's life at risk, because not everybody knows.
Right.
Because me, which I hate the word, you pass. All right, I pass. Right. I don't pass. I am a man.
Right.
It's not about passing. I am a man. And I get it that some people like to use that. I personally do not like to use that term, because I'm not passing. It's like, I don't ever consider myself an I anymore.
Right.
Only because it's not an illusion.
Right.
It's before it was, and when I've competed before, it was an illusion, but it's not an illusion now because I am a man.
Right.
And like I said, when I get into the whole misgendering thing, it gets me upset, because like I work at a bar. And if a person misgenders me at the bar, there's a possibility there'll be one or two guys out there to beat my ass.
Right.
Because they're like, oh, well, you're lying. If you want to be a real man, I'm going to beat your ass like a real man. It happens.
Yeah.
And worst off, it hurts when it happens from family. Now, I get it that there are people, they're just trying to adapt, and they don't mean to misgender. And I think you just have to have a little space and compassion for people who don't mean to misgender you, because this is all they've known.
Right.
But it's still a work in progress. You still got to try. And as long as they're trying, right. But yeah, I have a real big issue with misgendering.
If they're purposely misgendering without putting in the effort to make an effort to try to correct themselves, and that's where I have the problem.
Right.
And when going back to the issue of being misgendered in public, it's like, it does put that mental spot. And when someone says her, she, it's like, do I look like physically man? Like, it makes my head go, wait, do I not look masculine enough?
Right.
And
then an insecurity sets in.
Right. And then that's the dysphoria and the body image issue and just everything. And it's a spiral. Yeah,
it is. And I think that's where people need to be more cautious, be a little bit more aware. I get it. Nobody's perfect. And I get it. It slips up, and I get it. But, the beauty I love is when my family members, the few that I do talk to, when they slip up, they're like, oh shit, no, he, they're like,
right.
They literally go into anxiety, and I'm like, it's okay. Calm down, because I know that it wasn't intentional and it wasn't being disrespectful. And that, like I said, I can make space for.
When it's unintentional, I'm totally just, you were aware of it. You were aware you made the mistake, and you tried to fix it right then and there.
Sometimes when people misgender me and they're being an asshole about it, I misgender them.
Exactly.
I'm like, he said, I'm not a he. Well, you kind of look like a he. And yeah, it could get me in trouble, but whatever. I don't care. I'm just like, if you want to be disrespectful,
exactly.
I try to be the better person, but it only goes so far.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So, but okay. Now let's talk about trans and dysphoria, because I know, like, with the disability and the medical conditions, does that make it difficult?
It does.
Okay.
Because with CP, it makes it so my hips aren't aligned very well, which means my hips, when it comes to the redistribution of the body, when it comes to testosterone, my hips aren't able to redistribute because they have nowhere to go. My hips they're sideways, they're slanted.
Right.
So it makes it very hard for my body to redistribute muscle and fat in different places. So unless by some miracle something happens, I'm always going to have, my hips. I'm always going to have, so it's, and plus being 5 foot tall, it's like, okay, cool.
It's funny because I do realize that there is a bone density thing that happens. Like you get a stronger bone density.
Yes.
Now, I don't know how that plays with you, because with carrying the stronger bone density, like, people think that they gain weight, and sometimes it's just you get you get more bone density. I don't know if that goes by weight or whatever. I don't even understand how that works completely. I mean, I just know that my bone density got a lot stronger. It got a lot thicker. Like, my jaw ended up getting thicker. So I don't know how that would affect you. Does it cause, once again, issues?
It is definitely, with the change in like you said, the bone density and stuff, I have noticed like more pressure on my back, more pressure on my knees, and not only with the testosterone, but being on the different meds that I'm on, like, it all just, it does affect my weight fluctuating, which also causes a lot of body image issues, because I'm like, great, I already have enough things I have to deal with, and then I have to be like, okay,
this is not helping. This is not helping.
It's like, well, I just down 16 pounds. Yay! Great, good stuff. But
it's so funny, because when you look at the both of us, like, I transitioned later in life. I think I was 49. 49 when I began my transition. And people would look at that and like, that's crazy. How can you do that at that age? And like with you, I'm sure you get the same thing.
Yeah. Because I've only been transitioning for 4 years.
Right.
So like, everyone's like, why did you wait so long? Or, why did you wait so long to say anything? I was like, that's not just something you just wake up and say, hey. That's a lot of inner struggle. That's a lot of, figuring out how you're going to say things, how you're going to articulate things, how you're going to go about introducing everyone and yourself to these different changes,
And it's hard to articulate when you don't even know what, like, honestly, I didn't know I knew what a transsexual was. I knew what transvestite was, but I had no concept. Especially, when you're a kid, you don't know what that is.
Right.
You're growing up and you're just like, look, I just know I feel this way. I know something's off. Something's not right. This doesn't match.
I used to get jealous of the clothes my brothers would wear. I used to get jealous of the things my brothers were allowed to do because they were boys.
Yeah. Right.
It's like, okay.
But you end up like me. I was the first biologically female to take auto mechanics in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to understand, this is the 80s. There were no girls in auto mechanics, and I'm just like, yeah, screw that. I want to work on cars. I don't want to cook. I don't want to bake.
I saw this thing once and it made a lot of sense to me, and it actually goes back to, remember earlier we were talking about the whole superhero thing?
Yeah.
And wanting to be a superhero when you were born female. Well, if you think about it, female goes back to Iron Man. Fe is Iron Man, male. We are Iron Man.
Interesting.
See?
That is interesting. I like that.
See, it works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it just, the way, there's so many gender roles. I hate gender roles, first off.
Yeah.
Gender roles suck.
Yeah, they do.
They absolutely suck. It's like a woman can cook, a man can cook, a woman can fix
Work
a car.
on a car, yeah.
It's like, gee, really?
Stop. It's so funny because my children call me mom.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody starts freaking out like, oh, you don't want to be called dad? No. Their mom. Don't put gender roles on parenting. I know amazing women who are amazing fathers, and I know amazing men who are amazing mothers. Don't, you just have to pick the role. I was the nurturer. I was the one who homeschooled. I was the one who did those things, and like you said, gender roles are shit. I hate them.
They are.
No, don't want them.
Nope.
I don't. I didn't even, when I did my license, I ended up deciding to put X on it, only because, first off, it's nobody's business.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. At the end of the day, it's nobody's business what I have down my pants.
Right.
I identify as a trans man. I identify as male, but it's nobody's business.
Exactly.
What I have in my pants. So.
It's like, unless you want me to show you, it's none of your unless you are with me and you are my partner or someone who sees me on a daily basis, it's none of your business.
Exactly.
None of your business. I don't get dressed in the same room as you.
Well, it's crazy because I know you get this because I've gotten this. It's like, what do you have down there?
Right.
And I'm like, well, what do you have down there?
Right.
I said, do you really see how ridiculous your question is?
Yep.
Do you just go up to random people and say, oh, what genitalia do you have? Is that a thing? Right. I don't get it. And then they're like, oh, yeah, don't ask me. I'm not,
I have a rocking horse down there.
I'm the smartest. I got a python, and then it pisses people off, and I look at it and mostly it's men. It's mostly men who ask me.
Yep.
And they get so upset because the first thing I do is when I tell them, I say, there's a difference between you and me. They're like, well, I can choose my size.
Yep.
Sorry.
What mine looks like. No, don't mean to demasculinize you or anything, but choices.
Oh, here's a good one. Psychotic. What do you have in your pants? A knife, usually. That is an excellent response. But yeah. I mean, I think being transgender, there are so many different. I like to consider us X-Men.
Yes.
We're the next evolved man.
Yep.
We are able to understand women on a different level, which is to our benefit.
Absolutely.
So, and I think we should. I think we should evolve. We should be better because we know what it is to walk on both sides.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we understand on a different level. We don't just, listen to respond. We listen and we understand.
Yeah.
We don't just talk out of our ass like, oh, I know how you feel. No, I really do.
Yeah, you gotta trust me on this.
Listen, we've dealt with the things that bleed for 7 days and don't die.
Oh God, no! I am so, and I think that's the whole thing. It's now that's another thing. everybody's transition is different. And
absolutely.
Caro, I love my wife. I can confirm that lacrosse understands me probably better than I can actually. I'm so moody. So I got to give her a shout out. Happy birthday, baby. It's coming up. The weekend's coming up. And no, I'm not telling you what we're doing. Camden knows, but Camden's not telling.
Don't mess with me either, Kat. I'm not giving you any information.
Oh, that's too much. But yeah, like, oh God, I just lost my train of thought. See, I talked to my wife and that's it. I'm just like, what? Squirrel.
There's that ADD.
Yep, there it is. Oh, I was talking about the levels of transition. That's what I was speaking about. So if you were to talk about your level, like, is there more you want to do? Is there more, further that you want to go? Or are you going to stay,
I'm undecided about bottom surgery. Very on the fence about it. I definitely want to do more research and, understand it a little better and weigh out my options with things before I make that kind of decision. The hysterectomy is going to happen, definitely. Right. Top surgery because of COVID keeps getting pushed, but hopefully with any luck it'll be in July.
Oh, let's hope.
So because COVID likes to, grab me by my balls and not even give me a reach around or take me to dinner first.
Right? Like, at least put $5 on the nightstand. Come on.
Right, exactly.
I actually have been on the fence. Like, I'm not on the fence. I'm actually off the fence with the bottom surgery. I just decided not to. Mm-hmm. Because it's just, my main thing was the top surgery and the hysterectomy. That was imperative. I had to get those done. But I don't necessarily know that there's so much good resources out there.
Right.
So with me, and also I got to put my age in consideration. So
right.
I'm just like, I don't, this is as far as I go. And that's one thing I definitely want to express. And I'm sure you agree with me. There is no level of transition. There is no more trans or less trans.
I hate that when people.
Right.
Okay. One of the issues I have are if you don't bind, you're not trans. Or if you don't have a certain level of body dysphoria, you're not trans.
Right.
If you're not on testosterone, you're not trans. Who are you to say who the hell someone is?
Right, exactly.
What are you, the trans police?
Right. And it's frustrating because like everybody has different levels and different reasons as to why they're transitioning. Like me, I was able to go on like I spoke to you earlier, I was on a set amount and now I'm microdosing only because of my blood pressure.
Right.
People have to put that there's actual medical reasons as to why people can't transition all the way also. Right. And maybe they just don't want to, and maybe they feel that an affirmation is enough for them.
Right.
There is no level of trans, and whether they're trans women, if they tell you they're a man, they're a man. If they tell you they're a woman, they're a woman. Just respect it.
Exactly.
It's easy. It's just easy.
Back to the subject of whether or not I want bottom surgery, and kind of connecting into what we said earlier with everyone asking what's in your pants. It's like having male genitalia does not make you a man.
No.
You could be like, I might not have the plumbing downstairs of a male, but you know what? Like, I see myself as having probably some of the biggest male genitalia energy you will ever.
Right. I put it like this because I'm like, I raise my kids, I work hard, I'm the provider, but then I'm the mother. I'm every aspect.
Yep.
My youngest, well, my second to the youngest, it's crazy because I have 5 of my own and 1 that's Kat. Now, Kat, she sees me as Pops. I'm Pops. I'm her dad. But my youngest out of my biological children is she calls me both. So she called me mom, dad.
Mhm.
And then the older ones, they just call me mom. But my whole point of this is that, oh God, I just lost my damn train of thought. See, this is what happens when you get old. What did you just say? I was on a roll here. I thought I was doing good.
About having big male.
Oh yeah, exactly. That does not determine my manhood.
Right.
That doesn't determine my manhood, whether I'm a dad or whether I'm mom, dad, or whether I'm mom or whatever. That doesn't determine. Being a provider doesn't determine it. That's just being a responsible parent.
Right.
Being a nurturer, it's just being a responsible parent. Instead of people just sitting there worried about genitalia as to making more of a man. What makes you more of a man is just being a responsible adult.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. Same thing. Being a real woman is being a responsible adult.
Right. I agree.
If that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
So, oh wow, we got passionate. I was in church for a minute there.
There's so many like, what is the word I'm looking for?
Triggers.
Yes.
Triggers.
Yes. Right. I'm just like,
it's ridiculous.
There's just so many things have to be this way type. It's like no.
Yeah.
The little boxes everyone puts themselves in, and
yeah.
It's
here's the beauty
crazy.
of evolution. Stop putting things in boxes. Stop labeling things. Let's evolve beyond all these labels, beyond all these stereotypes. Let's evolve past that.
Right.
That would be great to see. You know?
Right. Exactly. I totally agree.
It'd be great the day when I don't have to say I'm a trans man.
Right.
That would be a good day.
Yes.
You know?
When you can just say, I'm a man.
I'm a man.
And not have to give anyone any type of explanation.
Right.
Ever.
That'd be nice. But you know what? And that's the beauty. Right now, we're pioneering and we're fighting for that. We are being activists for that. So I look at it like this. When I was in the 80s, I remember being an activist for just equality with marriage.
Right.
I saw it happen. Now it's being an activist for this. So it's like, I think that's our job, is to just be pioneers. So that way the next generations that are coming don't have to deal with the issues that we do. They won't end up with the mental problems that we do. They won't understand the dysphoria. They'll just be who they are, and that's it. Exactly.
The dysphoria and everything won't even be a thought. They'll just live their daily life without even worrying about, do I look masculine enough? Is my voice deep enough? Do I pass? Do I have enough facial hair? That type of thing.
Right. Well, I want to thank you so much. This was a great interview. This is probably a really good interview. I want to thank everybody who was on. Oh my God, there's so many. And I don't want to miss any names, but everybody, thank you so much for being on here. And I would love to name you all out, but you know who you are. But I was just like, I'm going through the scroll and I'm like, yeah, that's a lot of people. I don't want to.
Thank you to our spammers. We love you too.
Yes, the spammers, you are people too. But I'm hoping that I can have you back.
Absolutely,
I would love to have you back, and maybe we could just start talking about some other issues. It doesn't have to just be this, because God knows there are plenty of issues out there to deal with and contend and to speak against.
And I just want to make it known that anyone watching, even anyone who sees this later, if anyone has any questions, or if anyone has anyone they just need to talk to or reach out to for any reason, my inbox is always open.
Right.
And please feel free to message me. It might take a little bit for me to get back to you because I am prepping for a national pageant and I am going to school. So it may take a bit, but I will get back to you. Just know that my inbox is open if you need it.
So definitely hit Camden up on Facebook. Now, I know you see Colin Berrelli there, but I'm going to actually put Camden Xavier Summers so that people, matter of fact, I'll put it in the comments now. So that way, if anybody wants to hit you up.
Yes, this is my muggle life, ladies and gentlemen. I sit in a t-shirt and a hoodie.
Exactly. So now I went through every single one. So that way, if anybody wants to reach out, excuse me, please definitely reach out, and we're here. All right. So with that being said, I want to thank you again, Camden. It was an amazing interview, and I wish you the best. Definitely on nationals, I wish you the best.
Yes, I will definitely keep
you better keep me posted. Yes, better keep me posted.
You know how to find me, so I definitely will.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, guys and dolls, this is Casey DeVille, the better half of DeVille Inc., Baltimore, Maryland. If you're ever in Baltimore, stop in and see me and Tony. Invisible Brie, 5920 Eastern Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland, 21224. Give us a call if you're in the area at 410-400-9641, or look us up on the web at DeVilleInc.com. DeVille Inc., where we specialize in you.
Thanks so much for tuning into this week's episode on Through Kaleidoscope Eyes. I sure do hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. If you haven't done so, make sure to subscribe to the show. See you next week.